Hello everyone, we are from Group 6 and today we would like to present the result of our financial management analysis of PT Telkom Indonesia for the period 2023 and 2024. PT Telkom Indonesia is a state-owned enterprise operating in the information and communication technology and digital telecommunication sectors in Indonesia. The government of Indonesia holds the majority ownership while the remaining shares are owned by the public. Over the years, Telkom has transformed from a conventional telecommunication company into a leading digital telco by improving operational efficiency, expanding digital infrastructure, and adopting customer-oriented digital strategies to support national digital transformation. Telkom vision is to become the leading digital telecommunication company that drives societal progress through innovative and sustainable digital solutions to achieve this vision. Telkom's mission focuses on accelerating the development of accessible digital infrastructure, strengthening national digital talent, and building an integrated digital ecosystem that creates long-term value for stakeholders and society. Okay, next, this study applies a quantitative descriptive research method using secondary data obtained from Telkom financial statement. The analysis is conducted over a 2-year period from 2023 and 2024 to evaluate the company's financial performance and trends. The problem formulation in this research focuses on several key aspects. First, analyzing the structure and composition of Telkom's statement of financial position. The second, evaluating the company's income statement to assess profitability and operational performance. And the third, examining cash flow from operating, investing, financing activities to understand financial sustainability. And lastly, analyzing key financial ratios to assess changes in the company's financial health over the observed period.
Okay, first let me introduce myself. My name is Nayara Puspita Dewi and I will explain about the balance sheet of Telkom Indonesia. Okay, first, the balance sheet is a financial statement that shows a company's asset, liabilities, and equity at a specific point in time. So it provides a clear picture of what the company owns, what it owes, and how much belongs to the shareholders. The main purpose of the balance sheets are first, to evaluate the company's financial position, and then to assess the company's liquidity, and to measure solvency and capital structure. So you can see at the picture, the formula of the balance sheet is total assets equal total liabilities and total equity. So this formula means that all company assets are financed either by liabilities or by equity. In a balance sheet, the total asset must always be equal to the total liabilities plus total equity. This condition is called a balanced position, which indicates that the company's financial structure is properly recorded and financially accountable. Okay, I will start by explaining the asset sections, beginning with current assets. So Telkom's current assets are calculated by adding all short-term assets accounts, and you can see from the table, which include cash and cash equivalent, other current financial assets, and then receivable from related parties and third parties, contract assets, inventories, and then contract costs, other current tax assets, and other current assets. So all of these are the current assets of Telkom Indonesia. And we got the total of the current asset in 2024 amount to 63 billion 80 million rupiah, while in 2023 they were 55 billion 613 million rupiah. And this means that Telkom's current asset is increased in 2024. So it is indicating higher operational activity and a stronger short-term financial position. Continue to the non-current assets. So the non-current assets are calculated by adding all long-term assets account, such as long-term investment, fixed asset, right of use asset, intangible asset, deferred tax assets, and other non-current assets. Here we can see from the table, and we got the total of the non-current assets in 2024 reached 206 236,595,000,000 rupiah, while in 2023 we got 231,429,000,000 rupiah. So it's increased in 2024, which means the company continues to invest in its infrastructure and digital development. So when we add total current asset and non-current asset, we get Telkom's total assets, which also increased in 2020. Next slides, I will move to the liability sections, starting with current liabilities. The current liabilities are obtained by adding all short-term obligation account. We can see from the table, they are payables to related parties and third parties, contract liabilities, accrued expenses, deferred revenue, tax payable, short-term bank loans, and current maturities of long-term loans. So after being combined, this total of current liabilities in 2024 amount to 76,767,000,000 rupiah, while in 2023 they were 71,568,000,000 rupiah. So next, the non-current assets are calculated by adding all term obligation account, such as deferred tax liabilities, long-term loans, lease liabilities, employee benefit obligation, and other non-current liabilities. So we got the total of the non-current liabilities in 2024 amount to 60,418,000,000 rupiah, and then in 2023 they were 58,912,000,000 rupiah. So this shows that Telkom's long-term obligations slightly increased in 2024, which reflect a higher long-term commitment to support business sustainability. Equity sections. So equity is calculated by adding all equity accounts. There are share capital, and then additional paid-in capital, retained earnings, other equity components, and non-controlling interest. After being combined, Telkom's total equity in 2024 amount to 162,490,000,000 rupiah, and then in 2023 they were 156,562,000,000 rupiah. We can see the balance sheet of Telkom Indonesia, and this amount is fully financed by total liabilities and total equity of the same value, which means the balance sheet is balanced. Next is common size balance sheet. So in this analysis, each account in the balance sheet is converted into a percentage of total assets. This makes it easier to compare Telkom's financial structure between 2023 and 2024. So all of account in the table have been grouped into main categories. We can see like such as cash, receivable, inventories, and then many more. So we got the account. So we can see the formula to calculate the common size. We calculate the common size by taking each account and then dividing it by total assets and multiplying it by 100%. I think I will explaining first how to calculating it. And then okay, and then we got the all of the common size balance sheet in the next slides. We can see the percentage proportion of each account relative to total assets for both 2023 and 2024. Okay, we can see the current assets increased from 19.37% in 2023 to 21.05% in 2024. So this increase indicates that Telkom's liquidity position has improved, meaning the company has more short-term assets available to meet its short-term obligation. And then we can see from the fixed asset, this shows that Telkom now has a more flexible asset structure where assets are not overly concentrated in fixed asset. And then retained earnings, this reflects Telkom's strong internal funding capacity, meaning the company is able to finance operations and growth largely from internally generated profits. So in both years, the proportion of equity remains higher than debt, which indicates a stable and healthy capital structure. Net working capital, or NWC, calculated by subtracting current liabilities from current assets, and we got the net working capital of 2023 is 27,355,000,000 rupiah, and this positive net working capitals indicates that Telkom had sufficient short-term assets to cover its short-term obligation in 2023. So regarding the capital structure, Telkom's financing in 2023 was composed of equity and debt. Equity accounted for approximately 57%, while debt accounted for around 43%. And for the 2024, the net working capital is 36,219,000,000 rupiah. So this positive net working capital indicates that Telkom had strong short-term financially capability in 2024, and still same like 2023, composed of equity and debt. And equity accounted for approximately 54%, while debt accounted for around 46%. So this showed that Telkom still relied more on equity financing than debt financing, indicating a stable and healthy financial structure. So we compared to 2023, Telkom's net working capital increased from 27,355,000,000 rupiah to 36,219,000,000 rupiah. So this increase shows an improvement in Telkom's short-term financial strength and liquidity position.
My name is Astita Dimulani, and I will explain the financial performance of PT Telkom Indonesia, particularly the profit and loss statement as a continue of the previous presentation. On this slide, we can see PT Telkom Indonesia revenue taken directly from the income statement. In 2023, Telkom recording revenue of 140.90 trillion to 160 billion rupiah, and in 2024, revenue increased slightly to 149 trillion 967 billion rupiah. The increase is relatively small, around half percent, but it showed that Telkom revenue remains stable despite intense competition in the telecommunication industry. This revenue comes from Telkom core business activities such as telecommunication service, digital platform, and information and communication technology solution. Next, we move to cost and expense. Operational and maintenance costs increased from 39,718 billion rupiah to 41,202 billion rupiah, while employee expense rose from 15,927 billion rupiah to 16 trillion 807 billion rupiah. In addition, depreciation expense remained high at approximately 32 trillion 600 billion rupiah, which show that Telkom is company with large fixed asset investment, especially in network infrastructure. This increase in cost reflects service expense, but on the other hand, it has started to put pressure on profitability. The impact of rising costs can be seen in gross profit. Telkom gross profit declined from 44 trillion 384 billion rupiah in 2023 to 42 trillion 991 billion rupiah in 2024, a decrease of around 3%. This decline occurred because operating expense increases faster than revenue grow. Funding income increases from 1 trillion 61 billion rupiah to 1 trillion 367 billion rupiah. However, funding costs also increased from 4 trillion 652 billion rupiah to 5 trillion 280 billion rupiah. As a result, even though funding income increases, higher interest expense continue to put pressure on profit. Next, we look at profit before tax. In 2023, profit before tax was 40 trillion 794 billion rupiah. Really, in 2024, it decreased to 39 trillion 153 billion rupiah, or around 4% decline. This decrease was caused by a combination of higher operational expense and increased financial costs. Moving to tax and net profit, tax expense significantly decreased from 8 trillion 586 billion rupiah to 8 trillion 410 billion rupiah. However, net profit still declined from 32 trillion to 108 billion rupiah in 2023 to 30 trillion 743 billion rupiah in 2024. This showed that the decline in the profit was mainly driven by operational efficiency issue, not by tax expense. Based on this comparison table, we can see that revenue remained stable, with gross profit, profit before tax, and net profit all declined. This confirmed that Telkom main challenge in 2024 was cost control and efficiency rather than revenue generation. From this summary, we can see that the contribution of profit to revenue decreased from 2023 to 2024. Therefore, Telkom need to optimize digital revenue and improve cost efficiency to strengthen profitability in the future. In the conclusion, although Telkom experienced decline in profit, the company financial condition remains healthy, supported by stable revenue and strong core operation. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, first of all, my name is Andini Permata Akhir and I will explain the gross profit, operating margin, and profit margin of PT Telkom Indonesia for the period of 2023 and 2024. Okay, first I will explain gross profit of PT Telkom Indonesia. Gross profit represents the company's gross income obtained from its main operational activities before deducting other operating expense. The formula for gross profit is revenue minus cost of goods sold divided by revenue and multiplied by 100%. Cost of goods sold, or COGS, includes several cost components such as operation and maintenance expense, telecommunications and service expense, depreciation and amortization, employee expense, interconnection load, general and administrative expense, as well as marketing expense. Now, let us move on the calculation for the year 2023. It is known that net sales or revenue amounted to 149 billion 216 million rupiah and cost of goods sold amounted to 39 billion 718 million rupiah. Therefore, gross profit is calculated as revenue minus cost of goods sold, which is 149 billion 216 million rupiah minus 39 billion 718 million rupiah, and resulting in 109 billion 498 million rupiah. Next, gross profit margin is calculated as gross profit divided by revenue and multiplied by 100%, which is 109 billion 498 million rupiah divided by 149 billion 216 million rupiah multiplied by 100%, resulting in 73.4%. Next, we move on the year 2024. It is known that net sales or revenue amounted to 149 billion 967 million rupiah and cost of goods sold amounted to 41 billion 202 million rupiah. Therefore, gross profit is calculated as revenue minus cost of goods sold, which is 149 billion 967 million rupiah minus 41 billion 202 million rupiah, and resulting in 108 billion 765 million rupiah. Next, gross profit margin is calculated as gross profit divided by revenue and multiplied by 100%, which is 108 billion 765 million rupiah divided by 149 billion 967 million rupiah multiplied by 100%, and resulting in 72.5%. Okay, based on this calculation, can be concluded that the gross profit of PT Telkom Indonesia experienced a slight decline from 109 billion 498 million rupiah in 2023 to 108 billion 765 million rupiah in 2024. In addition, the gross profit margin also decreased from 73.4% to 72.5%. This indicates that the increase in cost of goods sold grew faster than revenue. Therefore, the company needs to improve operational efficiency in order to maintain its level of profitability. Next, I will continue with the discussion of the operating margin of PT Telkom Indonesia for the periods of 2023 and 2024. Operating margin is used to measure the company's ability to generate profit from its core operational activities. The formula for operating margin is operating income, or EBIT, divided by revenue. EBIT includes operating revenue and all operating expense such as selling, general and administrative expense, marketing expense, depreciation, and amortization, as well as other operating expense. In the year 2023, it is known that revenue amounted to 149 billion 216 million rupiah and total operating costs amounted to 105 billion 319 million rupiah. Therefore, operating income is calculated as revenue minus total operating costs, which is 149 billion 216 million rupiah minus 105 billion 309 million rupiah, and then resulting in 43 billion 897 million rupiah. Operating margin is calculated as 43 billion 897 million rupiah divided by 149 billion 216 million rupiah, resulting in 29.41%. Next, for the year 2024, it is known that revenue amounted to 149,967 million rupiah and total operating costs amounted to 107,581 million rupiah. Therefore, operating income amounted to 42,386 million rupiah. Operating margin is calculated as 42,386 million rupiah divided by 149,967 million rupiah and resulting in 28.26%. Based on this calculation, it can be concluded that operating margin experienced a decline from 29.41% to 28.26%, which was caused by an increase in operating expense, particularly in depreciation, amortization, employee expense, and network maintenance costs. Okay, next I will continue with the discussion of the net profit margin of PT Telkom Indonesia for the period of 2023 and 2024. Net profit margin shows the company's ability to generate net profit from total revenue. The formula for net profit margin is net income divided by revenue. In the year 2023, it is known that net income amounted to 32,208 million rupiah and revenue amounted 149,216 million rupiah. Net profit margin is 32,208 million rupiah divided by 149,216 million rupiah and resulting in 21.518%. In the year 2024, it is known that net income amounted to 30,743 million rupiah and revenue amounted to 149,967 million rupiah. Net profit margin is 30,743 million rupiah divided by 149,967 million rupiah and resulting in 20.49%. Based on this calculation, it can be concluded that the net profit margin of PT Telkom Indonesia experienced a decline from 21.58% in 2023 to 20.49% in 2024, indicating a decrease in the company's ability to generate net profit from the revenue earned. This decline was mainly caused by increasing operating expense, including network maintenance costs, labor costs, as well as higher financial and tax expense. Nevertheless, the net profit margin of PT Telkom Indonesia remained above 20%, reflecting that the company was still able to maintain a strong level of profitability and stable financial performance.
So this slide about quality of earnings. Before I continue to explain this slide, I will introduce myself first. My name is Regita Lodia Arina and now I will explain about quality of earnings. The quality of earning ratio is one of the profitability ratio used to assess how reliable a company's net income is when compared to its operating cash flow or cash from operation. In the quality of earnings analysis, we use the formula operating cash flow divided by net income. Operating cash flow is taken from the net cash flow generated from operating activities in the cash flow statement of PT Telkom Indonesia, as it reflects the actual cash from the company's core activities, while net income uses the current year's profit because it better represents operational performance compared to comprehensive income. After determining the calculating components, the quality of earning is calculated by comparing operating cash flow and net income. Operating cash flow is taken from the net cash flow generated from operating activities in the cash flow statement of PT Telkom Indonesia, while net income uses the current year's profit from the income statement. From 2023, operating cash flow was 60.581 billion and net income was 32.208 billion. Taken from PT Telkom's financial statement, resulting is a quality of earnings of 1.88. Meanwhile, in 2024, operating cash flow was 61.600 billion and net income was 30.743 billion, increasing the quality of earning to 2.00. The result indicates that the profit generated by PT Telkom Indonesia are increasingly supported by actual operating cash. Thus, the company's profit quality can be categorized as high. And then next is capital acquisition ratio. For the capital acquisition ratio analysis, we use the formula operating cash flow divided by capital expenditure. Operating cash flow was taken from the net cash flow generated from operating activities in the cash flow statement of PT Telkom Indonesia because it reflects the actual cash generated from the company's core activities. Meanwhile, capital expenditure was taken from the purchase of fixed asset because this account represents cash outflows for long-term productive investment. After determining the calculating components, the capital acquisition ratio is calculated by comparing operating cash flow and capital expenditure. For 2023, PT Telkom Indonesia operating cash flow was 60.581 billion, while capital expenditure for fixed asset purchase were 33.601 billion, resulting in a capital acquisition ratio of 1.802. Meanwhile, in 2024, operating cash flow increased to 61.600 billion, and fixed asset expenditures decreased to 26.005 billion, causing the capital acquisition ratio to increase to 2.368. This result indicates that PT Telkom Indonesia is able to finance its fixed asset investment expenditures using cash from operating activities without relying on external funding, which reflect a strong financial condition and the company's ability to maintain the sustainability of productive asset growth.
My name is Meta. In this section, I will explain the financial ratio analysis used to evaluate the financial performance of PT Telkom Indonesia. Liquidity ratio measures a company's ability to meet its short-term obligation using its current asset. The first liquidity ratio is the current ratio. This ratio measures a company's ability to pay its current liability using its current asset. In 2023, 55,650 billion rupiah divided by 71,568 billion rupiah result in 0.7775 or 77.75%. In 2024, 63,080 billion rupiah divided by 76,767 billion rupiah result in 0.8217 or 82.17%. It is show a slight improvement in liquidity from 2023 to 2024, although the ratio remains below 1, meaning current assets do not fully cover current liabilities. The second liquidity ratio is the exit test ratio, also known as the quick ratio. This ratio measures the company's ability to meet short-term obligations using its most liquid asset, excluding inventory. In 2023, 55,613 billion rupiah minus 997 billion rupiah divided by 71,568 billion rupiah result in 0.7633 or 76.33%. In 2024, 63,080 billion rupiah minus 1,096 billion rupiah divided by 76,767 billion rupiah result in 0.8073 or 80.73%. This increase indicates an improvement in Telkom's short-term liquidity position without relying on inventory. The third liquidity ratio is the average collection period. This ratio measures the average number of days required to collect receivable. In 2023, 10,667 billion rupiah divided by 149,216 billion rupiah multiplied by 365 days result in approximately 0.0260 or 2.60%, which is equivalent to around 9.5 days. In 2024, 12 trillion 193 billion rupiah divided by 149 trillion 967 billion rupiah multiplied by 365 days result in approximately 0.0296 or 2.96%, which is equivalent to around 10.8 days. This indicates that receivable collection became slightly slower in 2024, although it remained efficient. Next, liquidity ratio is account receivable turnover. This ratio measures how efficiently the company collects receivable. In 2023, 149 trillion 216 billion rupiah divided by 10 trillion 667 billion rupiah result in 13.9863 times. In 2024, 149 trillion 967 billion rupiah divided by 12 trillion 193 billion rupiah result in 12.2998 times. This decline indicates a slight slowdown in telecom receivable collection efficiency. The last liquidity ratio is inventory turnover. This ratio measures how efficiently the company managed its inventory. In 2023, 39 trillion 718 billion rupiah divided by 997 billion rupiah result in 39.837 times. In 2024, 91 trillion 212 billion rupiah divided by 1 trillion 96 billion rupiah result in 37.59 times. Although inventory turnover slightly decreased, it remained high, indicating efficient inventory management. In this slide, capital structure ratio are used to evaluate how the company finances its asset and manage financial risk. The first capital structure ratio is the debt ratio. This ratio measures the proportion of total asset financed by debt. In 2023, 130 trillion 480 billion rupiah divided by 287 trillion 42 billion rupiah result in 45.45%. In 2024, 137 trillion 185 billion rupiah divided by 299 trillion 675 billion rupiah result in 45.77%. This shows a slight increase in leverage, but the ratio remains below 50%, indicating a healthy capital structure. And the last capital structure ratio is the time interest earned. This ratio measures the company's ability to cover interest expense using operating profit. In 2023, operating profit or 43 trillion 897 billion rupiah divided by interest expense of 4 trillion 652 billion rupiah result in 9.4361 or 943.61%. In 2024, operating profit of 42 trillion 386 billion rupiah divided by interest expense of 5 trillion 208 billion rupiah result in 8.1386 or 813.86%. This shows a slight decrease in Telkom's ability to cover interest expense from 2023 to 2024. However, the DIE ratio remains well above 1, indicating strong financial stability, efficient management of financing obligation, and a low risk insolvency.
Before I start, let me introduce myself. Hello everyone, my name is Ismina Fardia. In this slide, we discuss the total asset turnover or TATL, which measures how efficiently a company uses its total asset to generate revenue. The formula for total asset turnover is revenue divided by total asset.
So let's be calculation. Total 2023 is 149 billion divided by 287 billion 42 million. So the result is equals 98, which is equivalent to 51.98%. So the total 2024 is 149,967,000,000 divided by 299,675,000,000. So the result is equal 0.5004 or 50.04%.
After calculating the total asset turnover, PT Telkom Indonesia recorded a total of 0.5198 in 2023 and 0.5004 in 2024. This result show that PT Telkom Indonesia total asset turnover experienced a slight decline from 2023 to 2024. This indicates a minor decrease in asset utilization efficiency, where the company generates slightly lower revenue per rupiah of asset. In other words, although the company still use its asset efficiently, the ability of asset to generate revenue in 2024 slightly lower compared to the previous year. Okay, we move to I will explain fixed asset turnover of FATO, which measure how efficiently a company use its fixed asset to generate revenue. The formula is total revenue divided by fixed asset.
So FATO 2023 is 149,216,000,000 divided by 180,755,000,000. So the result is equals 0.8253, which is equivalent to 82.53%. And then FATO 2024 149,967,000,000 divided by 180,566,000,000. The result is equals 0.8303, which is equivalent to 83.03%.
From the calculation, the fixed asset turnover increased from 0.8253 in 2023 to 0.8303 in 2024. This result indicates a slight improvement in the efficiency of PT Telkom Indonesia fixed asset utilization. The increase suggests that the company become more effective in leveraging its telecommunication infrastructure and other long-term assets to generate revenue, reflecting better management of fixed asset in 2024. Okay, in this slide, we analyze operating income return on investment or OIROI, which measure how much operating income is generated from total asset. The formula is operating income divided by total asset.
Okay, for OIROI in 2023, it is 43,897,000,000 divided by 287,042,000,000. So the result is equal 0.1529 or 15.29%. And the OIROI 2024 is 42,836,000,000 divided by 299,675,000,000. So the result is equals 0.1429 or 14.29%.
Okay, based on the calculation, the operating income return on investment decreased from 0.1529 or 529 or 15.29% in 2023 to 0.1429 or 14.29% in 2024. This decline indicates a minor decrease in the level of profit generated from operational activity relative to the asset invest. It suggests that PT Telkom Indonesia operational performance is generating returns from its investments like we did in 2024 compared to 2023. Okay, in this slide we discuss operating profit margin, which show how much operating profit is generated from total revenue.
For the formula is operating income divided by total revenue or sale. Okay, for OPM 2023 is 43,897,000,000 divided by 149,216,000,000. So the result is 0.2941 or 29.41%. And for OPM 2024 is 42,836,000,000 divided by 149,967,000,000. The result is 0.2856 or 28.56%.
From the calculation, PT Telkom Indonesia operating profit margin decreased from 29.41% in 2023 to 28.56% in 2024. This decline indicates an increase in operating expense, such as network maintenance costs and labor expense. As a result, operational efficiency slightly decreased, even though it was still able to maintain a relatively strong operation margin. Okay, in this slide, I will explain the profit margin, which measures how much net profit is generated from revenue.
Okay, formula NPM is net income divided by total asset. Okay, the first one is NPM 2023 is 24,792,000,000 divided by 149,160,000,000. This equals 0.1653 or 16.53%. And then for NPM 2024 is 23,872,000,000 divided by 149,967,000,000. This equals 0.1591 or 15.91%.
We show a decline in net profitability. Based on the calculation, the net profit margin decreased from 16.53% in 2023 to 15.91% in 2024. This decline indicates an increase in operating expense that affect the company overall profitability. Although PT Telkom Indonesia remain profitable, the efficiency in converting revenue into net profit slightly declined in 2024.
Okay, in this slide, I will present return of equity, which measure how effectively a company generates profit from shareholder equity. The formula is net income divided by total equity multiplied by 100%. Okay, for ROA 2023 is 24,792,000,000 divided by 4,953,000,000. So the result is 5.0054, which is 500.54%. And then for ROA 2024 is 23,872,000,000 divided by 4,953,000,000. So the result is 4.8197, which is 481.97%.
From the calculation, PT Telkom Indonesia recorded a return of equity of 500.54% in 2023 and 481.97% in 2024. This decrease indicates that the company's ability to generate profit from its own capital slightly declined. However, the ROA values still reflect good efficiency in equity management, showing that PT Telkom Indonesia remain effective in utilizing shareholder equity. Okay, in my final slide from this presentation, we discuss return of asset, which measure how efficiently a company use its total asset to generate profit. The formula is net income divided by total asset multiplied by 100%.
Okay, this is ROA 2023 is 24,792,000,000 divided by 287,042,000,000. So the result is 0.0863. And then have a ROA 2024 is 23,872,000,000 divided by 299,675,000,000. So the result is 0.0796.
Based on the calculation, the return of asset decreased from 8.63% in 2023 to 7.96% in 2024. This result indicates a minor decrease in asset efficiency and a company ability to generate profit from its total asset. Despite the decline, PT Telkom Indonesia still demonstrates a relatively good level of asset utilization in generating income. Thank you.
So, from our explanation, the conclusion financial management based on the overall financial analysis of PT Telkom Indonesia for the period 2023 to 2024, it can be concluded that the company was able to maintain stable financial performance despite raising operational costs and increasing industry competition. The financial ratio indicates that Telkom demonstrated strong profitability as reflected by a gross profit margin consistently above 70%, although it experienced a slight decline from 73.4% in 2023 to 72.5% in 2024. In addition, liquidity and solvency ratio show healthy financial condition supported by the company's ability to manage its assets and liability efficiency, which reflects a solid financial foundation. Attractive profitability and efficiency ratios such as ROE, and operating profit margin indicate a slight decrease in operational efficiency 2023 2024, due to higher maintenance and labor costs, Telkom remains capable of generating high-quality earnings and sustaining strong cash flows. They demonstrated resilience, financial management, and adaptability amid technological transformation. Overall, PT Telkom Indonesia remains a financially sound and competitive enterprise with the capability to sustain long-term growth and support the development of Indonesia's digital economy.